Hey there, it's Leanne Oaten here. I am a holistic counselor and I help women to really develop a healthy relationship to food and their body and themselves, as well as to recover from adrenal burnout and stress related illness. So, today I'm just going to mention a few things that might be a tip off that you may have this condition called adrenal fatigue. So, basically, adrenal fatigue is what happens when our nervous system has been in hyperactive mode for a long period of time. So many think that they're not actually stressed because they can't identify specific things that are going on that they would label stressful. But if you're somebody that suffers with anxiety of any kind, whether it's social anxiety, if it's just phobias, panic attacks, overall nervousness, like a chronic, edgy hypervigilance, where you're trying to control your environment, your fight or flight is turned on quite a bit in ways like being triggered and reactive. These are all ways that the body responds with releasing cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So if you're someone that has had chronic anxiety, and some of this, what I've just mentioned, and you have this fatigue going on, then chances are pretty good that there's probably, I won't say for sure, but we'd have to assess it further, but you probably have some kind of adrenal fatigue going on, and what stage you're at remains to be seen, and we will cover the 4 stages of adrenal fatigue in this workshop. But for now, I just want to share with you some top indicators that you might actually have adrenal fatigue going on some level. So the first one is morning fatigue. Now, this was the very first thing that started with me, and I couldn't figure out why. With ample sleep, I would wake up feeling more tired than when I went to bed. And this is a very common thing that people will have starting off, is this morning fatigue, because your cortisol really needs to be the highest when you wake up in the morning in order to help you feel awake and re-energized and revitalized, right? So if your adrenals are getting tired, this is what we see maybe more in the later stages of adrenal fatigue. Your morning cortisol is actually lower than it needs to be. And it's actually higher at night when you're supposed to be winding down, which leads to the second piece, which is insomnia and difficulty getting to sleep and staying asleep throughout the night. So this is all signs that cortisol is out of balance and that there's an adrenal issue going on there. Another one is stubborn belly fat around the middle that won't budge with your best efforts to eat well and exercise and, take care of your health in those ways. If we are accumulating fat in that area and it won't budge, there's not only an adrenal component, but probably a hormone imbalance going on as well. And we'll discuss other physiological reasons for that in the workshop. But this is another hallmark sign of adrenal issues because that is where cortisol is stored, is through the middle. So you might just have predominantly more excess fat in that area that's very stubborn and doesn't want to budge no matter what you do. Craving, like really intense cravings for salt and sugar, are another one. And a lot of times it's simultaneous where maybe you want both. I still struggle with this sometimes when I'm stressed, and I know that it's a sign that I need to do something to wind myself down and really take care of myself. The feeling of feeling really edgy, irritable, off balance, just really reactive, and anxiety, like I mentioned in the beginning. So often what will happen is somebody will have these symptoms of fatigue, they will have insomnia, and they'll have anxiety and mood issues. So they'll go to their doctor, and the doctor will prescribe them with probably one or a combo of some kind of an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety medication, and a sleeping medication. And I have worked with many women that come in that are on at least one of these, and some even on all three. And they would share with me how it wasn't actually helping them. It was making them feel worse and groggy and just out of their body and kind of numb and shut down because they've been medicating it all away. But we're not actually dealing with the underlying root cause of this when we're just going to medication. Now, I'm not saying there's not a place for medication if it's strategically and intentionally used for a duration of time for a specific purpose, if we are also dealing with the underlying imbalance that creates this in the first place. So I'm going to be sharing with you this condition that could be causing all of these symptoms and what you can actually do about it. Because if we're not dealing with the root cause of the issue, then it's just going to keep cropping up and you'll find your health just spiraling downward, not getting any better. So I hope to see you in the Adrenal and Stress workshop that I'm going to be doing at the Interior Wellness Festival. I'm really excited to be sharing this information with you. It's a passion of mine to help women now reverse this condition. I myself have had about a 10-year journey from the start of when this began to where I am now, to say that I feel like I'm 98% healed. And I was in a pretty severe stage of adrenal fatigue that made me really, really sick for quite a long time. So if you're someone that is just starting to have some of these symptoms and you're finding that that fatigue is just setting in and your mood is all over the place, please come to the workshop, because I would like to help you in the beginning stages before it gets to where I got to when I wasn't really aware of these underlying issues. It's not just about cleaning up the diet and meditating and taking supplements for your stress. There's so much more to it. And I've only just in the last year really been diving into the nervous system and neural pathways and our mindset and all of that, and how anxiety is linked to depleted adrenals if we're constantly in this anxious, hypervigilant, on edge state. So I look forward to sharing this with you and much more at the Interior Wellness Festival. I'll see you then.